What's up, Guardians? Thanks for checking out my channel. I'm Avian Flew, and today I have a really interesting new take on one of my favorite older Hunter builds. This one's pretty crazy and synergizes two subclasses at the same time, Arc Strider and Revenant. You might remember a few seasons ago when Liar's Handshake, when paired with a 1-2 punch shotgun on top tree Arc Strider, did insane damage to bosses. In its heyday, two Hunters running this build could melt a Gambit Primeval with just 2 stacks of Primeval Slayer. This season, we have the artifact mod Focusing Lens, which buffs our light ability damage on enemies affected by stasis. This is a great mod to use when you're running with a buddy and can both equip a setup to make the mod work. But what if we could affect enemies with stasis and damage them with light abilities while running solo? Sounds crazy, but top tree Arc Strider makes it possible. Let's take a look. So, for those that don't remember the build that I'm talking about, Liar's Handshake gives us the buff Cross Counter, which increases the damage of our melee ability after getting a melee kill or receiving melee damage. This synergizes with the top tree Arc Strider trait Combination Blow, which increases melee damage, regenerates health, and stacks up to 3 times. Gambler's Dodge gives us our melee back when dodging near enemies, and Combat Flow recharges our dodge with melee kills, so that already is a great combination, where kills give back abilities and vice versa. Deadly Reach, another Arc Strider trait, increases the range of our melee attack, making it even better. This is where the 1-2 punch shotgun comes in. 1-2 punch gives increased melee damage if you hit an enemy with every pellet of your shot. We're getting within melee range, so that shouldn't be a problem. This build used to be top tier, but when paired with the new Focusing Lens mod, it can out DPS most builds. Other than Liar's Handshake, a 1-2 punch shotgun, and the Focusing Lens mod, you can build your other weapons and gear to your preference. I go with Anarchy for the damage over time in my heavy slot and try to spec into Intellect as much as possible, because you will want your Stasis super as fast as you can get it. Don't worry about speccing into strength and mobility, you'll get your melee and dodge by using your abilities. Now let's look at the Stasis subclass setup. I went with Dustfield Grenade to affect more enemies with Stasis and Whisper of Durance to prolong the effects, but you can build it to your preference. Here's how it works. Start off as a Revenant, but have your Arc Strider class queued up in the light slot. Wait for your super to charge up. You may want to have enemies around you, but I'll explain why later. Once you're ready to use the super, switch to your shotgun, throw out any of your stasis abilities, then jump into the air and activate your super. During the animation, go to your character screen and switch to your Arc subclass as quickly as you can. If you're on PC, you should be able to switch and get out of the menu just as you hit the ground. You'll take some damage, but you'll get it back quick, and enemies around you will be freezing anyways. Now this is the part where you think, Avian, you're dumb, man. You don't have any abilities when you switch subclasses. But that's where the trait Combat Flow helps us out. You don't just get your dodge back from powered melee kills, you get it back from any melee kills, which is why you want to have trash mobs around you before you pop your super. After switching to your Arc Strider subclass, find a red bar and punch it to death. You'll get your full dodge back. Dodge near an enemy to fully charge your melee, then use your melee on an enemy to recharge your dodge. Repeat this until you have a few stacks of Combination Blow. Now find the boss. Once you've found him, make sure your melee is charged. If it isn't, your dodge should be charged, so dodge towards the boss to recharge your melee. At this point, your Stasis super should still be flying around the area and tracking the boss. Shoot the boss with your shotgun, which should activate 1-2 punch, further increasing your melee damage. Follow that up with a melee attack. Since the boss is affected by stasis and your melee has increased damage, you may melt the boss in 1 shot and then 1 melee, but if not, repeat the process until you run out of shells in your mag. Your melee ability doesn't get used up until you kill the target, so if you're hitting a boss, you get increased damage with every punch. At this point, you can switch back to Stasis if you want, but I keep running Arc Strider since the damage is really good and you can keep chaining melee kills. The only problem that I found with this build is that it can be a little bit inconsistent with the damage since there are a lot of factors involved, but I'm not sure if that matters because my melee damage ranged from 11,000 per hit all the way up to 278,000 a hit, so either way, you're doing insane repeatable damage. The most consistent damage that I saw was during a battleground. Each odd-numbered melee hit, so first and third, did 11,272 damage. Every even-numbered hit was doing 60,868 for a total of 144,280 damage. Each shotgun hit was doing 2,701 damage times 10 pellets, for a total of 27,010 damage per shot, times 4 shots, which came to 108,040. Add that to our melee damage of 144,280 and you get 252,320 damage in 7 seconds that it took me to do the combo. Well, that's it for this build video. I know it's kind of a crazy one, but I hope you enjoy it and get some use out of it. I would love to hear some of your crazy damage numbers, so drop those in the comments. I'm going with the name Cold as Lightning, but I'm not really happy with it, so if you can think of a better name, drop that in the comments too. I'll change the name to the best response and give you credit in the description of the video. As always, please give me a like and subscribe if you want to see more crazy builds like this. Thanks for dropping by, and see you next time.